Well, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, whenever you're listening to this podcast. You are listening to All Stories Matter, a Joy on Life's Journey production, and I am your host, Marvinetta Woodley Penn. Many of you have heard my podcast before, but hopefully I've got some new folks out there watching the podcast, and you know that I meet these amazing people, and then we start conversations, we start talking, and before you know it, I am all into their stories. I ask questions. You're like, who are you, lady? You're asking me all these probing questions. Yes, because I think that not enough people get to talk about themselves enough. A lot of people think, oh, I shouldn't be talking about myself. Who am I to say this? Oh, that's not good to talk about yourself, because a lot of us were raised to be seen and not heard. Well, I am just the opposite. I think we should be seen and we should be heard, and we should be the authors of our story, because sooner or later, somebody's going to write about you. They might not write about you individually. They might write about you as a part of a group, part of an institution, part of a workplace setting, and they won't get it right. So it's important for you to tell your story. Be the author of an amazing story on your terms. Your children deserve it. The next generation of young people deserve to hear your story. And I am so honored today to have with me a young lady that I met at Milestone Senior Services. I want to call it Milestone Senior Center, but it is not a senior center. And she's going to tell you much more about that. Now, I am a proud Rotarian, and the Rotary Club was meeting there for a very long time. On Mondays at 12 noon, we're going to be moving, but still meeting Mondays at 12 noon. Anyway, somebody told me about a senior dance that was coming up. And I was like, oh, I'm a senior who loves to dance, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm new to Kalamazoo. I need to get out and go to everything, especially when there's something that says dance. So I went to this senior dance party. I had the most fun I have had in Kalamazoo. I danced the entire time. They gave away prizes. They gave a menu that was fantastic. It was, for the amount of money that I paid, it was nothing. The money was nothing. The experience was everything. DJ Chuck, no. The most incredible DJ Chuck was spinning the sounds and representing everybody, all tastes, all ideas, just a plethora of fun. And then I saw this beautiful young lady, and she was talking to people. It's like, okay, I have to get to know her more. The next Monday, I went to Rotary. One of the first people I see, Cassandra. And I would like to welcome her today because she's going to be talking about her story. Now, I went into her office to ask one thing. I pulled up a chair. I think I was there about an hour asking about this one thing, because she is a talker, conversationalist. I'm not going to say a talker. She is a conversationalist. And I said, you have to come on the show. She said, sure. I'm happy. Cassandra, how are you today?
I am doing very well, thank you.
Good. I'm so glad that you are here. Every time I would send you an email, I'd be like, I hope she's still going to do it. I hope
Yes.
she's not going to back out
Yes.
on me.
No, not at all.
So Cassandra, I keep wanting to say Cassandra Powell, only because when I bought my house, my lawyer bought my house in Chicago. My lawyer's name was Cassandra Powell. And so every time I think about Cassandra, I think about Cassandra Powell. She was such a good lawyer,
Well,
and
say
she became a
Cassandra,
friend.
and then that'll
Cassandra.
differentiate. Yep.
So it's not Cassandra.
Nope.
It's Cassandra.
Correct.
Very good. Thank you for correcting me. And it's Cassandra Stewart.
Yes.
How are you? I know you said you were well. How was your day today?
It was Very productive.
Oh, good.
Very productive. Got a chance
Yeah.
to meet some people. I'm like you. You're right. I love to get out in the community and make connections with people. And, whatever I can do for Milestone, that's what I love doing. So.
Oh, well, tell us a little bit about Milestone before we get into your story. You can tell me
Okay.
the story of Milestone.
Milestone Senior Services is a nonprofit organization that has been in the Kalamazoo area for over 60 years now. I think we're on our 64th year we're going on now.
60.
Yes.
Ooh.
And we used to be Senior Services of Southwest Michigan, but most people know us for Meals on Wheels. So we do the home delivered meal service here in Kalamazoo County as well as in Calhoun County. So though we service both of those counties. And we, like I said, we've been doing it for years and years and years. But that's what most people know us for, but we do so much more than that. So we also do home repairs for seniors, for anyone in the public.
Yeah.
Mostly, almost all of our services can be provided to anyone in the community.
Okay.
But again, because we are a nonprofit organization, some are grant funded.
Yes.
But whether you qualify for a grant or not, we can still provide some of the services to you. So more specifically, just like even, people say Meals on Wheels, but it's really home delivered meals. So you may not qualify for home delivered, for Meals on Wheels because there are some requirements there, but we can still provide you with one for a cost. So most people don't know that. So you may be home, say temporarily. You may have had some outpatient surgery or something like that, and you're not able to get up and fix your own meals. Well, you
Yes.
can just call and order it, and yes, you
Oh,
pay
my
for
goodness,
the meal.
yes, yes.
But we will bring the meal out to your home during
That
that
is
same time
amazing.
frame that
Okay.
we would do our regular Meals on Wheels deliveries to folks.
And how do people find out about this? Can you give us the website?
They can go to our website, which is
Yes.
Milestone Senior Services with the S at the end .org, and we have our list of services there. And you can find out, the pricing for the meals. You can get a hot meal or a cold meal. It's up to you. And if you want to have meals, just say some meals sent to a friend that is sick or something like that, you can also do that as well. So
Oh,
yeah, it's I always say one of the best kept secrets that we need to let out into
yes,
the
we
community.
do. Oh my
Because,
gosh.
I mean, we're here to help
Yes.
the people in our community, and it's not income based, which I think most people have that conception.
That was going to be my next
Yep,
question.
yep, and
Do you
it-
have to have a certain income in order to qualify for
No.
this?
No, and like I said, you
Oh.
don't have to be, to get what's covered under a grant. There are some requirements.
Yes,
Income
of
is not one of them, but you have to be, basically where you're unable to go out and prepare or
Okay.
be at home and prepare a meal for yourself.
Yes.
So there's an assessment that you go through for that. But what I want most is like I said, you don't worry about grant funding. Just if you need the service, call in. And if you
Yes.
qualify, we will let you know for that. But if not, it's because a lot of people, they say, well, I need a rent bill. I can pay for it, but, I need to find out someone to do it. So give us a call. Our home repair department builds ramps, other accessibility items in your home. If you need a grab bar in your bathtub now, because you're like, you know what, I need something to hang on to getting in and out of this tub.
Yes.
We could come in and put that in for you. And better yet, we're now doing renovations to bathrooms because so many people are going away from their tub and they want to go to a shower because they don't want to have to step in and out of that bathtub. So
Oh.
now our home repair department, we have licensed contractors
Yes.
that can come and do a bathroom renovation for you. So
Now, I've been going to Milestone every Monday for over a
Yes.
year,
Uh-huh.
and I knew nothing about this. Now, that
Yes.
many of the seniors don't even know about the services. Have you
yeah.
guys made a presentation to the Rotarians?
That has been on my list to do. So our CEO is also a Rotarian. So I
Okay.
have been asking to get on your schedule to be able to do that. And I am more than happy to come and present to the
Yes.
Rotarians. I think he did it, but I think it's been a while,
A while ago. Okay.
That is actually one of our new services that we just started this year, the bathroom renovations. But yeah, we'll go out to a senior's home. We do a safety assessment. So we go through and look,
yes.
so we can show you different things, you know, that could potentially be a hazard for you, whether it's a trip hazard or, say, for instance, the steps coming out. If you got a home and your steps go out into the garage, well, you may not have had railings on there because you didn't need it, didn't even think about it. It's just 1 or 2 steps coming out the door.
Right, right.
But now you may be at an age where, you know what? A handle or railing certainly would be nice.
Would be
right here.
nice,
You
yes.
know?
And you
So
do
we
that
can do that.
assessment. It's things
So
that
we-
people wouldn't even think about.
Exactly.
Don't
Even
even
if
you
it's
don't,
something as
still
simple as
doing
tacking
it.
a rug down, so it's not
Ah.
a tripping hazard for you anymore. So yes, those things. Our goal is to keep, you know, seniors healthy, safe and healthy in their home, you know, for as long as possible. So
Oh, that is
our goal.
wonderful.
So
When I
we
had my
provide
house,
those
I wish I
services.
had known about your services,
Yeah.
but I was in Chicago.
Okay. Okay.
That is awesome. And you guys have been around for
Yeah, since
over 60 years.
1963, I think, is when they started.
So who started the organization, do you know?
Oh my gosh, I can't remember who exactly started. I know Helen Coover was one of them. Started with, well, she started, I think, our companion program.
Oh.
So we also have a senior companion program as well. So we have so many seniors in our community that may or may not have family here in town. And, you know, everybody wants somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
So we pair up other seniors. So we have a volunteer services also.
Yeah.
And so we have volunteers that are at least 55 years of age that want to volunteer. And so they can become a senior companion to someone older than them. And they can call them up on the phone and talk to them a couple of times a week. They can go visit with them. If they want to go out to lunch, they can go and pick them up and take them out to lunch or go to the store and shop, whatever they decide they want to do.
That is
So,
so nice.
It is wonderful. Our goal, again, we want to keep people safe, independent, you know, as much as possible. For those seniors that are maybe isolated or feel isolated,
That
you
is
know, have
so
that senior companion
important.
with them.
Yes.
And like I said, some, you know, it's just, it could be just as simple as just a phone call, you know, a couple times a week, just to check
Yeah.
on them, to make sure, you know, it's nice to know that you're being thought of by somebody.
That's right.
By somebody.
That's right.
And,
You know, we have an epidemic of
yes.
loneliness, especially in this country. So to
Exactly.
provide a service, some
Yes.
seniors might not have that connection with their family.
Yes,
People are off
exactly.
doing their own thing.
Yeah.
But to know that I have a companion who is going to be
Right.
checking on me, that is beautiful. So
It
that's how it started off. That was the initial.
Well, no, the
goal.
initial was and I cannot remember her name. Lord, please forgive me right
No,
now.
that's okay.
It started with the meals.
Okay.
And she kind of started out her home, and then I think it went to a church, and then from the church they were in a building, and then, you know, from one place to another. I think there were at least 3 different places before we ended up where we are now, over on Jasper Street downtown. So, but no, it started off with the meals. And so in addition to those meals, then, you know, the companion also started. So it's, you know, it's been a journey. And, you know, then it became a nonprofit organization, and, you know, it's just one thing after another. So I am, you know, I'm so grateful, you know, to be able to work there. And as the fund development director, marketing director, it's like now I get the opportunity to, you know, let people know about all the services and things that we provide, because it was just a tremendous impact, you know, that we have on so many seniors in this community, so many seniors. And, you know, you meet some of them. I don't have the opportunity unless I do Meals on Wheels most of the time to meet with them. And so that in and of itself is a great opportunity. We are always looking for volunteers to deliver Meals on Wheels. We deliver meals Monday through Friday. And it's only about a 2-hour commitment, you know, and you can pretty much decide which, you know, Monday through Friday, which one of those days you would like to deliver meals on. You know, you call into the office and they'll get you set up with the person that does the volunteers for Meals on Wheels, and you can decide, hey, if I want to do it once a week, then they'll set you up on that schedule. If you want to do it once a month, you could do that, or if you want to do it 3 days a week,
Yeah.
3 times a month. It's something that you can control, if you will, but just to know the difference,
Oh, my
that you'll be
goodness.
making. For
Yes.
a lot of those Meals on Wheels clients, that Meals on Wheels volunteer may be the only person that they see in a day, the only other person that they literally get to speak to. So, I always say it's more than a meal. You're actually checking on someone to make sure they're okay.
Some
because
human
it-
to human contact.
Exactly. We all need it.
Yes, and
We all need it. And just to know that. And so, for instance, if someone, one of our volunteers, they're delivering, they go to the door, they knock on the door, and they don't get an answer, they're calling our office. Hey,
Okay.
I'm at such and such place, so then we in turn will try to contact them as well.
yes.
And then normally we always have it set up where there's an emergency contact. So
Uh-huh.
if we can't get a hold of the actual client, and we hadn't been notified, of course, ahead of time, then we're reaching out to that emergency contact to make sure that they're, that somebody's checking on them.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
we look out. It's more than just a meal,
More than a meal.
It's
I
more
hear
than a
you.
meal.
Oh. I have been over there, and there have been seniors
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
And I know it's not a senior center, but there are a group of seniors that I see. Are some of those seniors working at this center? Working at Milestone?
The seniors that you see
Uh-huh.
now, because as of January of this year, 2025, we are actually hosting the Ecumenical Senior Center.
Okay.
So they are actually utilizing our facility because they are in the process of getting a new facility.
Ooh.
So we are housing the Ecumenical Senior Center folks at Milestone.
That is so nice.
Yeah, that has
is
been
so
a
nice.
joy for us,
Yes.
for me anyway.
Uh-huh.
Because like you said, you have these seniors that are around. So the room that you all have Rotary in,
Yeah.
that is normally where the seniors are.
No
they-
wonder they pass by sometime and give us the
Yeah.
eye.
So they go into the boardroom while you guys are meeting, and then after
Okay.
your meeting, they come back out and go back into the Cougar room. So, but
Okay.
yeah, it has just been a joy
Nice.
having them there. And one of their participants, Miss Emma Powell, she was the recipient at the dance party you talked about.
Yes,
yes. So that we
yes.
honored her because she is 102 years old.
102 years young.
Yes.
102
yes.
years young. Because I was
Okay.
like, look at this lady.
Yes.
Hey,
so
now.
she gets around. She goes on her
Yes.
morning walk every day when she's there, and she does the flowers out front. It is such a joy, just to be around her and to see her and talk to her. And to celebrate aging, you were saying a senior dance. It's called the Celebrate Aging Together. So it's
Ooh.
not just for seniors.
Yeah,
it's
I
for
know.
Everyone.
Because I saw little children there,
So we had
families
a
there.
2-year-old
Yes.
to 102-year-old. So we had a span of 100 years. Can you believe that?
At that event.
100 years at that
Yes.
event. And that was my goal when, I started this, because I told him, I was like, I want to have a party. I was like, we need to celebrate aging.
Yes.
Because aging is a good thing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Not everybody does it.
That's right.
And if you can do
That's
it,
right.
and you
And that's
still
a
do,
true
and you know that
blessing.
it's a celebration.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
So I
It's
encourage
not, it's not a
people.
problem. It's not an issue. No, it's a celebration.
It is
yes.
a celebration, a true celebration. So
It was beautiful.
it
You
was
did a
just-
fantastic job.
I love doing that.
I could tell.
That is the event that I love to do each year. It's one of our fundraising events, and we're opening up more for people. Last year we honored Jake, who is one of our Meals on Wheels volunteers.
Oh, okay.
He was, oh my goodness, he was 93 at the time, and he is still a Meals on Wheels volunteer. He had been volunteering at that time 30 years. When he retired from his job, he started doing Meals on Wheels, and he has been doing Meals on Wheels ever since. So he may have more time as a Meals on Wheels volunteer than he did at his other job.
Yes. Oh my, how lovely is
So,
that?
yeah.
You guys might want to come to Public Media Network and do a commercial
Okay.
and have some of your drivers like Jake,
Yeah.
have them come out
Okay.
and just do something, because yes, get that
Yeah.
word out,
It
and
is-
from the
it's
lips
wonderful.
of your volunteers, it would be so good.
Yes.
It would just capture.
Yeah.
I need to do something. I need to do
Yes.
something, especially in this time.
Right.
In this time in our world, I'm not going to say just in our country, but in our world where you hear so many negative things going
Yes.
on, and so many attacks against the goodness in people.
Amen.
And
Yes.
when we can celebrate
Great.
that, we
Yes.
can feature that, we can promote that, we can talk about it and celebrate it. The more the merrier.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, let's get on this good news
Yes,
train.
That's right. That's right. And every day. I mean,
Yes.
Milestone, I mean, we couldn't do what we do for as many people, you know, without our volunteers. You know, they are a vital part of our organization and what we do. You know, and we are still in need of so many more. So we not only have volunteers for the Meals on Wheels or home delivered program, we also have volunteers for our home repair when we build the ramps.
Okay.
So it is our volunteers that go out and build these ramps. So they start at the building. Well, we have a whole new home repair building for them now, right there on site. So they pre-make parts of the ramp.
Oh.
And then they go out and then assemble them. But those are volunteers. So again, a lot of people that are retired that may have done, you know, that type of work. Or
Yes.
sometimes we have volunteers that come because they have no idea how, you know, how to do those things, work with wood. And
They're
so
just
it is actually
curious.
a way for them to learn how to
Yeah.
become more handy for themselves. So, you know, it works. They, you know, they're there, they're making a difference for the people that we serve, and they're learning at the same time. So, and they really, you know, they really get into what they're doing because they enjoy it and they know the difference that it makes for allowing, think about it, for someone, if you're in a wheelchair, you know, or even if you use a walker, you know, you aren't that eager to try to get down steps
Indeed.
with that. You know?
Yes.
So
Yes.
ramps can make the difference of someone feeling like they're a prisoner in their own home because they can't get out safely. You know, and that's also a fire hazard. You don't want to be in a situation where you can't, you know, exit or enter your home safely. And so that makes such a big difference.
I don't even think about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't even think about it.
Even if you're an adult child and
Yes.
say, okay, you've moved your parent in with you now, you may need a temporary
these
ramp
things.
on your
Indeed.
home.
Yes.
Again, just to go to the doctor's office. You don't want to
Yes.
create another hazard just trying to get your loved one in and out of the home without having a ramp there. And again, it could be temporary. We can, you know, you could use it for as long as you need it. And then, you know, in the event that it's no longer a need,
Yeah.
then it can be, you know, taken down as well.
Girl, that is so awesome.
Yeah. So it's just
I
amazing.
hope everybody knows about you guys.
Look, we're getting, you know, we've had billboards before, you know, but that's a hefty cost.
That's an expense.
It's a very, yeah, it's very
Podcast, this is
expensive.
nothing. When I give you the link, you can
yeah.
just send it out,
All
put it on your
right.
website,
Yeah,
and
so it is-
promote.
It is, I mean, it's just amazing to me, all of the things that we do. You know, even like with our My Choice Waiver program, a lot of people was like, what is that? You know, they had no idea.
What is that? My
it-
choice.
My Choice Waiver. So again, most seniors, if they have the opportunity to stay at home and receive care, they would prefer to do that as opposed to having to be put into a nursing facility.
Yes.
Okay, so with the My Choice Waiver program, if you're at a level of care where you would need to go into a nursing home, and you qualify for Medicaid, So this is more income-based. So if you qualify for Medicaid, you may be able to be a part of our My Choice Waiver program. So what they would do is assign you like a nurse and a social worker, and they would work with your primary physicians, and they would do an assessment and see what needs you have. And then they would make sure that you get those taken care of in your home.
Nice.
So we would work with, home care providers or different folks to make sure you get the services that you need to be able to stay at home.
So it's my choice. I don't feel like going to the doctor. I don't want to go out for this appointment or that
Well,
appointment.
it's not about not going to an appointment.
Okay.
But you have the ability to stay in your home
Yes.
as opposed to going to a nursing home.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
That's the that's the choice.
Yes.
Again, as long as you qualify for it, those we can provide those services that
Yes.
you need. So if you need someone to come in and you can't get yourself up, you can't bathe yourself, you can't get clothed.
Yes.
So that's the type of service that you need.
Okay.
So we will work with, like I said, home care providers and things like that to get that. Or if we have to have a nurse come in, work with you with your medication, those
Yes.
types of things like
Awesome.
that. Yes. So we know, it's been proven that seniors do better when they're able to stay in their home.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to going to a nursing home. So if at all possible, if, we can, if we can provide the level of care that you need and you still be in your home setting, then that's what most people would choose to do.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, so we do that. And we also provide services for seniors 55 years old and older with behavioral health issues. So we partner with ISK, I believe that's Integrated Services of Kalamazoo. And so you go through ISK first, and then we get assignments from them of people if they're 55 years old and have some type of mental challenge going on, then they can assign them to Milestone, and then we take care of them. We help them navigate life, if you will.
Oh,
So, yeah,
you guys are doing it.
It is, yes, it is.
You guys are
It's
doing it. I
amazing.
appreciate
It really-
you.
it is so amazing to me, all the different work that we do. We even do, I think it's called OBRA, nursing home, assessment. So if you have a mental health issue, and you are in a nursing home. So even if you do end up going to a nursing home, we still go in and we check on them.
Oh, wonderful.
Because we go in and we try to do assessments. We do assessments with them like every 6 months to make sure that they are actually getting the care that they need, because they can't speak up for themselves.
So important. Now, would you go through through a family member to help with that?
We actually go to the
directly
nursing home.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we go whatever nursing facility that they're in, we work directly with them to be able to go in and get that assessment done for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can family members, like let's say if I had an aunt who I thought needed help, could I recommend her? Could I recommend you guys, or would she have to come?
She would have to, it would all start with ISK. For
Okay,
that. So our whole behavioral health program, like I said, is in partnership with Integrated Services of Kalamazoo.
Okay.
So you can't just come to Milestone and get that service. You have to go through ISK.
Okay,
And then they would
okay.
assign you to us.
Okay, very good. Could I go on her behalf to ISK, do you know?
I believe you could, but I think, I'm not sure the ins and outs of that part of it.
Okay.
But I know, there's assessments and things like that have to take place.
Yes.
So,
yes.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's working together, and
Yes.
that's one thing I love
Yeah.
about Kalamazoo. There's so many opportunities here. To me,
Yeah.
there's so many services. There's so
Yes.
many people trying to do good for other
Yes,
people
exactly.
here, and it's Kalamazoo is like a smaller version of metropolis.
Okay.
And it's got the heart of a
Yes.
small town.
Right. I agree.
And everything is close by, you
Yeah.
know. And when I was in Chicago, it would take maybe an
wow,
hour to
right.
get from one side of the city to the next. Here you get anywhere in 15 minutes or less.
Yes, you're right.
It is so wonderful. So we're going to segue here, and I do not have my timer up here. So I'm going to get my phone because I need to know
Okay.
what the times
All right.
are. Because I will go on for a very long time, and that
Okay.
is not going to happen. I want to know about Cassandra. I don't like that. Cassandra. Cassandra. Yes, yes. So tell me about
Oh
Cassandra.
my goodness.
Are you from Kalamazoo?
No, I am not originally from Kalamazoo.
Okay, where you from?
I'm originally from Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
I was born and raised
We
there.
talked about this, but I'm just going to act like
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
this.
okay, that's okay. Yep, I was born and raised in Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
Graduated from Flint Northwestern High School. Wildcats, go green.
Go, go, go. Now, what were you in when you were in school? What were you
Oh, my
in? What
goodness,
kind
what was I
of activities?
National Honors in high school. National Honor Society.
Okay.
I think is what I did. I decided when I got to high school I didn't want to do sports anymore. I used to run track in junior high school, but
Now, what got you into track?
just other friends were running, and so I decided I would try it out too.
And you
So,
liked it?
I liked it. Yep, I liked it. Like I said, when I was in middle school, I did. I was part of the group. We used to be junior high school
Yes,
way
yes.
back when. Now
Yes.
it's middle school.
Now it's middle school.
So I was on that right at that transition in
Okay.
Flint, where they moved, where they transferred from calling it junior high school to calling it middle school.
Okay.
So I was in the 8th grade in junior high school, and we still had 9th graders. So junior high school included 7th, 8th, and 9th grade.
Okay.
And so then they transitioned,
Yeah.
and the 9th graders moved to high school, and then it became middle school.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I always felt bad because when I was in junior high school, I was in the 8th grade, and then they transitioned. So we never got to be on, my class never got to be on top of the 9th
To be
graders
the
in middle
seniors,
school.
the junior high school
junior high school.
seniors.
Right,
I was
so-
in junior high school, and I
Yeah.
knew what that felt like.
Yes.
Yes.
So I was
Yes.
Like, wait a minute.
You
We
get to
never got
8th
to be on top.
Yes, you get to 9th grade. You're like,
Yes,
oh, you lower
exactly.
classmen. Mm.
But I enjoyed it nonetheless. So
Okay.
when the 9th graders from junior high school moved up to high school, I did also.
Yes.
Because
yes.
I was in the 9th grade, but it was in high school.
So you
I was
became a
like-
freshman all over
I
again.
became a freshman all over again. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I'd only gotten out of that after 2 years. So yeah. But anyway, I was like, oh well, I'm not doing sports while I'm up here. So I focused on my studies, and I was in part of a pre-engineering program, which I started in middle school. It started in middle school, and then I participated in that throughout my high school years. So I was able to actually start working for GM in
Whoa.
the 11th grade. So with they had a co-op program. So for any of the students that were a part of the engineering program, you had the opportunity to work for GM, because of course in Flint there were multiple GM plants in Flint way back when at that time. So
that
my
must have
junior
been
year,
nice.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, because they would go to school. I think I went to school for like maybe 4 sessions, and in my 4th class, I left after that, and then I went to work. And I worked about 5 o'clock, and then I came home. And
What did you do?
they would normally give you different projects. You work with engineering, with the engineers at GM. I can remember one of my assignments I worked on. I can remember when they first started putting, what they call them, CRMs in cars, the little screen
Yeah.
in your car.
Oh,
with all the information right on the screen.
Yes.
I had to test those to make sure that they were working properly. And so they were, whenever they would make changes or things like that to it, they would, do a sample of one, and I would have to check it and go through different things and make sure everything was cycled the proper way.
boy.
So it was
You-
very.
I
So
know
then
you
to
felt like
start,
you were big
years
time.
later to see these in the cars, I was like, okay. So I had a little bit, make sure those were working correctly. So
I had something
Yep.
to do with this
That's
screen
right.
that you're looking at today. I was just a high school student, but I was above
Yeah.
everybody else because
Yep,
I was
so-
out here on the cutting
Yeah,
edge of
so
technology.
That was, it was nice. I enjoyed doing it. And, they
Yes.
move you from different departments. So you did
Uh-huh.
different things, just depending on what the need was and what project they had available for you. And I always tell people I had to take a day off of work at GM to graduate from high school. So, so even though, I think seniors, they always get out a little bit earlier than
Yes.
everyone else. And so, but I was still working at the time. So then I just started working that full day. And so while I was working, it was like, oh, well, I got to go back to graduate, So I always tell, I was like, well, I can't come in to work tomorrow because I have to graduate.
I have to graduate high
So,
school.
Yeah.
Oh my
But,
goodness! So how long
I
did you
enjoyed
teach?
it.
How long did you work there, or did you continue working there after you graduated high school?
So I was there my senior year,
Uh-huh.
and then because of the project that I was working on, they actually allowed me to stay that summer after I graduated, which was
Nice.
pretty different because normally, before they would take on a summer intern, you would have to have finished your freshman year of college before they allow you to intern. But because I had already been there for 2 years in high school, they allowed me. So I worked that whole summer before even going away to college.
Okay.
And I went to college at Michigan State University.
Yeah.
And then I was able to come back. I got a chance to be a part of Michigan State's co-op program. And so I was able to go back even when I was at Michigan State. So it worked out pretty nicely. And then I figured after my freshman or after my sophomore year, I was like, okay, I want to learn something else besides GM. So then I started working for Pepsi Cola when they still had bottling facilities. So I worked in a Pepsi Cola bottling facility in
While you were in
Flint.
college?
Yeah, while I was in college.
Okay.
So yeah, that was my thing for me. I always wanted to make sure I had experience, and because I had that co-op experience in high school,
Uh-huh.
it was sort of just a natural thing for me to, really inquire
Yes,
once I was in
yes.
college. It's like, hey, and I was like, oh, you guys have a co-op program. And they were like, well, yeah. And so I almost immediately got involved in that. I think after my freshman year, I think you had to go through your freshman year.
Okay.
So my sophomore year, I immediately started in the co-op program at Michigan State University as well.
Okay. Now, is there like a work-study program where you are going to school and you're working?
No.
Okay.
And that's what I
Okay.
didn't want.
Oh.
So I didn't want to have to work
Okay.
while class was in session, if you will.
Well, in the work-study programs that I knew, you would go to school, study for a part of the day, and then at a certain time you would leave. So
So-
most of your classes would be
No,
early
I
in
didn't
the
want to
morning.
work at all while
Okay.
I was in class. So what
Okay.
I did is with co-op is,
Uh-huh.
and this is why it would take you longer to graduate because, so at the time, Michigan State, they were on terms, which I
Okay.
loved. It was 10-week terms as opposed to a
Yeah.
16-week semester.
Yeah, we had quarters, but
So
that's
we had,
basically
yeah,
the same thing. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
uh-huh.
with the term, so what I
Yes.
would do is I would go to school fall and winter terms,
Okay.
and then spring and summer, I worked.
Oh.
So I was on campus. I went back
Okay.
to Flint because that's where the job was that I took.
Yes.
And then I would work. So I was just working full time those two terms.
Yes.
So, that worked for me. I can go to school fall and winter, and then by the time spring came, I went back home and then I worked. So that
Okay.
really allowed me to immerse myself in what needed to be done.
That was smart. Now, who influenced you to do that?
Well, it was just because of my experience from high school.
Okay.
So I knew with high school, it was that you went to school for,
A part
instead of
of the
6
day.
classes, you went to school for 4 classes.
Okay,
And then
okay.
the last 2, you were working.
Yes.
But in college, like I said, they did it where, okay, this term you're just going to school.
Yes.
And then, so I did that for 2 terms straight.
And was
then
that
2
a
terms.
part of the university?
Yes.
Michigan
Michigan State.
said this is
Michigan
cool.
State, look,
Michigan
don't-
State. Okay. Michigan State said this is okay. We see the
Yeah,
benefit for
that's
our
how-
young people.
that's
So
how
that's
the
why it
program
was a
was set up.
cooperative.
Yes.
Very good.
That's why it was. So it took
Very
you longer.
good.
Because I was
Yes.
only getting 2 terms a year of my education.
Yes.
But
yes.
getting those 2 terms of work experience. So
Invaluable.
I had a job before I ever graduated.
Now, how did you deal with the rest of the students? Because here you are, you a working woman, been working since high school. Most of them are like me. I never had a job. My mother did not want me to work.
Okay.
And so I never had a job until I was in college and I got a little job working at the lot. I'm like, this is not cool. So I didn't work it very long. I wanted to party.
Okay.
I wanted to be a socialite. So
Well, look
But
at you
how
now.
did you,
So.
girl? Hey, it's a long road from college to
Okay,
now,
yeah.
but it's all good. But how did you deal with being a regular student and
Well-
being a working girl? How did you balance
Well,
that?
it was like 2 separate things. So
Two separate
when
worlds,
I was at
okay.
school, I just did school.
Yes,
And that's how I wanted it, because I wanted to
Yeah.
be able to focus on my studies and what I was doing and enjoy whatever was going on the campus.
okay.
But when I was working co-op, again, I was off campus.
Yeah.
So I was back at home in Flint, because the Pepsi bottling facility that used to be there is not there anymore. It was right in Flint. So I could just go back home,
Yes.
and then I was working.
Yes.
So that did, you know what I mean? So it didn't really, they didn't merge
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
because once I was at home working, I wasn't worried about taking a test. I didn't have to study.
Right.
I
I'm
didn't have
talking
to-
about the social life. How did
Oh my gosh. Well, you
how
know,
did
that didn't,
because it seems like you have one foot in the adult world and another foot in the college world.
I was
That didn't-
always an independent person.
okay.
Even as a young person in, I can remember, I think it was my freshman year in high school, and one of the teachers said something. He was like, Cassandra, he was like, you are different. He was like, you don't act like most of these students around here. Which I don't know why. I'm the youngest of 5. I grew up in a
Uh-huh.
household. It was 5 of us. It was 4 girls and 1 boy.
Uh-huh.
And I was the youngest. And I don't know. I just felt like I always had an independent streak. And, you know, I knew my mother could depend on me. Even, I mean, I can remember her going on vacation one time, and the 3 youngest of us were still at home. And when she left, she was like, she gave me the money. She was like, okay, y'all gonna have to go to the store. You're gonna, you know, this and that. I would cook.
How old were you?
I was in middle school.
Okay.
I
And you
was
were
in middle
cooking?
school. Oh my God. Yeah, I've been cooking for years before that. They called, I'm not gonna tell y'all what my nickname was, but I love getting
Lil'
up in the
Mama.
morning. I love getting up in the
Yes.
morning and cooking pancakes for breakfast, or my mother cooked all the time. So I was always in the kitchen with her.
Okay.
And I would sit there and I'd watch her, and so I learned from my mom. You know, my mom's
Okay.
from Mississippi, and they love to cook.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
that's kind of where I got my joy
Okay.
of cooking from.
You still cook?
You know what? No.
Oh my God! All that went to nothing.
It didn't.
No, it didn't,
got
because you know
used-
how to cook.
It got used in the process.
Okay. Oh, well, all
So,
right, all right.
And this is skipping way ahead, but I ended up having my own catering business.
Get out of here.
No, so I ended
That
up having
is
my own catering business
awesome.
for about 20 years after moving to Kalamazoo.
Yes.
So I moved to Kalamazoo in 1996.
What brought you here?
Oh, at the time I was married, and he took a position here in Kalamazoo.
Uh-huh.
And so that's what
So
brought
you
us
guys
to
met
Kalamazoo.
in
No, we
where
met
you
when in
were.
high school. So that was it didn't bother my social because
okay, because you were dating. Now it
Yes.
all comes together.
I had been dating the same
Now
person since
it
I
all-
was like 16 years old.
And so he
Yeah.
was at home,
Mhm,
and so
yep.
oh, girl,
So
now
that didn't
that
bother me.
hole has been plugged
Okay.
because I understand
Yeah.
there was a little bit more incentive to come back.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for
Look,
that
I was
tidbit.
working. But,
That's a
yeah.
piece of the puzzle I was trying to get to. Girl, how did you do? Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right,
that
all right.
didn't- Like I said, I mean, working was just, it was just part of what I did.
Yes,
Like I said,
yes.
I started, you know, in high school and doing that. And even before then, before I started working high school co-op,
Yes.
I had a job downtown. What did it used to be called? It's not there anymore. But anyway, it was a big place that had all these multiple restaurants and things in it and some small businesses. It was
Yeah.
right downtown in Flint. And so I went there and I got a job working for the salad place, which I love salad. So I was like, this is great. And so I was, fix salads for people and stuff like that. And I always remember this. I cannot remember his name, but I don't even know if I ever knew his name. But he would literally wait and let other people go in line ahead of him so that I can make his salad.
Oh, isn't that
He
sweet?
would always say, "Oh my God, you make the best salads," So anyway, but yeah, so
It's just something about the way you
I was
turn that lettuce.
He always says I made it look so pretty. So he's like, you take the
Okay.
time to, just the way I put it together. He's like, other people would just, be tossing stuff in there or
Okay,
whatever.
but you had a little flair
anyway, I
to the
guess.
salad. The
So,
radishes. So
and I still love it, and I do still love making salads today.
awesome.
But yeah, so I just always had that joy. So I guess working was just a part of what I did.
Did
like
the
I
rest of
said.
your family, did the rest of the children work like that?
Yeah, I can remember my brother working early. He used to work like at different fast food places, and so he became like manager of
Okay.
different fast food places, and he did that pretty much all his life. And so he's retired now, but he worked at different places because I guess he enjoyed doing that.
Yeah, do what you love.
But yeah, so I mean, working was just a part of me of what I did. And like I said, I was always a very independent person. So if I was working, I could make my own money. So I didn't have to go, to my mother all the time and say, hey, can I have this? I paid for all my senior pictures. I paid for all my prom dress, all of that stuff.
Okay.
It was just, I don't know. It was
You
just,
had it like that. You had it like
it was
that.
like that, and I loved
Okay.
it. Like I said, during college, because so that was the way that I was able to put myself through school.
That's
So-
great. With no student loans.
I had $2,500 student loan,
Get out of here.
and the only reason I got that my freshman year, I can remember I went to the bank myself and applied for the student loan. I was able to get the student loan, and it was for $2,500, and that's how I started going to Michigan State. And then once I got to Michigan, because my mother worked for GM, so I knew I wasn't going to be eligible for any student aid.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So it was like, okay, I got to figure out a way to do this. And like I said, I was the youngest of 5. So even though my mother worked for GM, she couldn't afford to send me to college.
Yes, yes.
And, so I got the $2,500 student loan, and I started my first term. And I was like, okay, I got a term to figure out how I'm going to pay for the rest of this year.
Girl, what
And
college
so-
freshman thinks like that?
and
I wish more did
Yeah.
think like that.
And so after I got there, I was able to get scholarships. I always tell people, you utilize your student services.
Yes, yes.
I had already worked for GM before
Yes,
coming, and they were
yes.
like, oh yeah, there's a GM endowment scholarship. What? Of course, I filled that out. Got money from GM.
Great.
And then so that helped pay for the rest of the year. I didn't have to go back and get another student loan.
Yes.
By the end of that year, that's when I found out about the co-op. Because like I said, you had to get through your freshman year before
Yeah.
you could start co-op.
Okay.
So my sophomore year, it's like, okay, freshman year is done. I signed up for co-op. And then once I did that, that's when I went to Pepsi.
Okay.
Well, guess what? Pepsi had a scholarship. If you were working with them, you can get a $5,000 scholarship. And that was a lot back then.
Yes, yes.
Way back then. So I got the scholarship from Pepsi. I continued to get the scholarship from GM.
Okay.
And then the money that I made when I worked, I was able to save that.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah.
then for my books, if I needed books and anything like that, anything extra, then I was able to pay for it.
Cool.
And I was able to pay for my apartment when I came back. So God worked it out.
What you were in college and you had an apartment. So I'm thinking you're coming back and you're staying with your parents.
I
when you
was.
would come back, but eventually you moved into your own apartment.
Yeah, when I was on campus, I lived in an apartment.
You lived in an apartment.
Yeah,
Everybody
I
else
stayed on
was on
campus.
the dorm.
I stayed in the dorm my first year, my
The
freshman
first
year.
because I kind of think they recommended that
Yeah,
freshmen
yes,
live in the
exactly.
dorm, and then
Yep.
after that, you kind of on
Right,
your own. How you going to do it?
exactly.
So,
So
where
that's
did you
what I
have a
did.
roommate, or you just said, "No, I'm going to do this by myself"?
What
For your apartment.
for my apartment, I didn't end up with a roommate in my freshman year. I had a roommate when I first moved in Brody Hall. I'll never forget it. Erica Lazarus. Why do I remember her name all the
Erica,
time?
if you're out there,
Yes,
it's okay.
Exactly.
It's okay.
She was my roommate.
Yes.
Or maybe the first quarter, the first term that we were there. And but she wanted to be on the other side of campus because she had friends that she came with, that grew up with her.
Yes.
And so all of them, for some reason, were in this other dorm on the other side of campus, and she was the only one. So she did everything she could to get over there with them, which I was like, great.
Yes.
So that meant once she left, I was like, no, I want this to stay as a single. So I went and I found out how could I keep this as a single, and it only cost a little bit more. So I was like, I want this as a single. So I kept a single room in the dorm the rest of the time for my freshman year. And after that,
you are such an independent woman.
I am. I guess
you
I
are
always
such.
have
You
been.
got this independent streak.
Yeah.
Where has this taken you? I know you said that you started your own catering business. How were you in a relationship?
Look, I was in a relationship throughout all this almost until.
But you was with the
till
same
20.
guy.
Yep.
Wait a minute. You married? Your husband is the guy that you were with since
No,
elementary
I'm
school?
not married anymore.
What?
Thank you, Jesus.
But
yeah.
wait.
Yes. So
Wait a
the
minute.
guy that I was with from the time I was 16 years old, I was with him. We went through college, finished high school, went to the prom, went to college. As soon as I graduated from Michigan State, 2 weeks later we got married, and then 2 weeks later we moved to Kansas because I started working for Hallmark Cards. So I was recruited at Michigan State's campus by Hallmark Cards.
What was your
manufacturing.
major?
My major was in engineering arts, which was similar to like an industrial engineer, if you will.
Yeah.
And at most other colleges, Michigan State was starting this thing where they were trying to bridge the gap.
Yes.
And so it was called engineering arts. So it was like technical, you had the technical side, but then you also had to do 40 hours of non-technical. And so I did business. So when I graduated, I had this engineering arts degree, so I had the engineering portion of it, but also had the non-technical, which was the business side. So I actually ended up going into management when I went to work for Hallmark Cards Manufacturing in Kansas. So I moved from Michigan to Leavenworth, Kansas, of all places. But that's where Hallmark Cards. So I ended up becoming the supervisor of a greeting card manufacturing line. So where the cards are made, and then they come to the manufacturing facility. And so I ran that line. So the cards came on huge sheets. It'd be multiple cards on one big sheet. Go through the die cut press. They cut them all out.
Yeah.
And then they go through the packaging line. And so I was a supervisor over that. So I'd had all kind of management experience already because of working co-op.
Okay.
And so, that's why I said I had a job when I graduated, before I graduated from college. And, so many people at that time, I'm going to date myself, way back in 1992, a lot of people were graduating and was saying no job or need a job on their hats as they walked.
Yes.
And I didn't have that issue.
And you had a job.
I had a job, and then they moved me. So like I said, I got married 2 weeks after that. Then the big truck came. They sent the truck, got all of our little stuff, the little stuff we had at the time, and moved us to Kansas. And we were there. So I ended up staying there for about 4.5 years. And then he decided to take a position back here in Kalamazoo. And so that's what brought us to Kalamazoo. Okay. And I always say I got to the zoo and could never get out.
Is that what happens? People come to the zoo
and come to the zoo, and you can never get out. But but it was all good. I ended up. I had one child at the time.
Okay.
And came here, and then I had a second child, and so I was able to raise my sons here in Kalamazoo.
They were able to take advantage of the promise.
Part of it, yes.
Okay.
Because I actually lived out in Comstock School District for when they first started the Kalamazoo Promise.
Okay.
And even though my children went to Kalamazoo Public Schools, because I would bring them to school in Kalamazoo, because I didn't live
Okay.
in the Kalamazoo
Oh,
School District.
I see.
You know,
I
until
see.
after. But anyway, me and their dad ended up divorcing, I don't know, in 2008 or something. And so then he was living in the Kalamazoo area, so they were able to get a part of it. So
Good. Good.
yeah. So anyway, after leaving Hallmark and coming to Kalamazoo, I was like, okay, I had my one son at the time, and it was always my wish to be able to be a stay-at-home mom and raise my own kids. I didn't want to have to, put them into daycare. I saw my mom work so hard, trying to take care of us. And it was like, when I have children, I want to be able to be there for them without having to do that all the time. And so after we moved to Kalamazoo, that's what I chose to do. I did go back to work for a little bit here, maybe for maybe 2 years or something, until my youngest son was like maybe, I think he was going to be about to be a year old, 2 years old. I remember because 2000, he was born in 98. So right before he turned 2, I was like, I'm done. But I had started cooking. So when we first came, I was bored, didn't know anybody in Kalamazoo at all. And so I would just be at home with my 2-year-old. And I remember going to the candy lady's store, bless her soul. And I saw all these molds, plastic molds of things, different shapes and sizes. And I was like, what do you use this for? And they were candy molds. And so she's like, oh, you make candy. I remember she gave me one that was turtles, so turtle candies.
Yeah.
But they were shaped like little turtles. Oh. And she showed me how to do it. And I thought, this is the cutest thing.
Oh, my goodness.
And I started making candy. And I always loved to bake. I've always loved to bake. Like I said, I would be in the kitchen all the time with my mom and my grandmother. I would go out to the country and stay with my grandmother and my aunt, and they baked all the time.
Oh, my goodness.
So it was just a joy.
Life.
It brought back so many memories.
Would there be, because I can just imagine you guys in the kitchen baking and telling stories and talking and laughing.
And they lived out in the country, so I got to see the farm animals, and they always had a huge garden, which I always loved. And so all that stuff really kind of, it rubbed off on me.
Okay.
But once I started meeting some people here in Kalamazoo, meeting some different friends and things, and so I would show them, what I was doing, baking. I would bake. My mom was still working for GM at the time. I would be at the kitchen. I'm home. I'd bake up all kind of cookies, apple bread, banana bread, and zucchini bread. And,
oh my God, you're making my mouth water. Oh.
I would bake and bake and bake. I would drive home. So I was like, okay, I'm going back to Flint. I'm going to see my mom in Flint. I would take all these baked goods home to Flint. My mom would take them in to work with her at GM. So I would get there early that morning. Okay, Mom. So she would take all of that. I would start baking more once I got to her house. Everything I would have given her by lunchtime, it was gone. She's called, saying, it's all gone. You got any more? So I would start baking from the time I got to her house.
Yes.
So that I would have more ready to take out to her at lunchtime.
Oh,
and
that is
before she
so
came
cool.
home before the end of the night, she would have sold all that. So I would have baked some more after I dropped it off to her at lunchtime. I come home and bake some more to have for her to take
Girl,
in.
that is so cool.
So that's how I kind of got started in catering, if you will. And then another friend of mine wanted me to make something for, she was having an art party at her home. And she was like, oh, can you bake me some stuff and do this for that? And so then I met another lady there who also liked to do it. And so we ended up starting a business together. And we did that for a little while. And I'll never forget, so it was a lady who worked for Consumers Energy. And her son had a barbershop. And so we would make up bread, zucchini, different breads and stuff, and take up there. He would sell it at the barbershop on Saturdays when people were there.
Oh, yeah.
And she loved it. And she's like, oh, we have an event. I think it was a United Way event at Consumers Energy. And she was like, could you make me up a couple of trays of your bread? And she was like, just do some fruit trays and veggie trays. And I was like, oh, well, okay.
I can do
I was
that.
like, how many people? She was like, 365 in 2 different locations.
Oh, my
and
God.
I was like, what?
Oh, my gosh.
Like, I was like, well, okay, yeah. Then it's like, okay, then my mind started working. It's like, okay, how are we going to do this? How is it going to be set up? How many loaves of bread? Because people's like, how do you know how much to fix? It's like, it's multiplication.
Yeah.
I always say I'm
You're
an
an
engineer
engineer.
at heart.
Yeah.
I always love math.
Goodness
And
gracious.
so you just break it down. This is how many, this tray will feed this many people. I know I need
Yes.
this many loaves of bread. You just multiply it out and make it, and then you go deliver it. So that's how my catering started.
And you did that for how long?
And I just continued to do it for pretty much almost 20 years. Yep, almost 20 years. So that
Here
is
in
what-
Kalamazoo.
Here in Kalamazoo, I used to cater for, like I said, consumers, energy, KPS, the school system, pharmaceutical reps. That was kind of my niche market. So I was
Yes.
able to do luncheons for them.
Oh, do you miss it?
So no, not at all.
Oh, it was a lot of work. Did
It
you have
was a
people
lot
working for
of
you?
work. I would hire people as needed.
As needed.
As needed.
Yes.
But most of the
Yes.
time I did all the cooking and everything myself. I would normally hire people when I needed people to help me serve.
To serve,
Do
yes,
things like
yes.
that, depending on events, wedding receptions, things. It just depends. But my niche market was normally like luncheons. I would do luncheons, like I said, for KPS or Consumers Energy, and
Girl.
pharmaceutical reps. So I loved it. It
Girl.
allowed me to be home with my kids. When they
Yes.
got to the point of school, of course, I can put them to school, still come home, do what I needed to do.
Do what you need to do.
And get that done and be done with it before they get out.
Yes.
So I'll tell you, God, he just worked it out. He really did.
So how did you come to Milestone?
Okay, so by the time my youngest son
Uh-huh.
graduated high school, so I
Yes.
did catering pretty much his whole life.
Uh-huh.
And so I was getting to the point, and I was like, so by that time, I was divorced, and I was like, okay, Lord, what am I going to do? And I thought I would go back into engineering at that time, but it was like I was away from that for so long, and it really wasn't me. It was just like, oh, I've been in this pre-engineering program, I guess I'll get my engineering degree. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
yes, yes.
It really wasn't me.
It wasn't touching
And,
your heart.
So by doing the catering, that's where I felt in sync, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved doing that. But I also knew it was coming to a time in my life where it's like, okay, Lord, I know, because I got my butt back in church when I got divorced. Thank you, Jesus. Because I had been away from it when I
Yes.
was with him.
Yes.
So that's why I always say, to me, my divorce was really the blessing for me in my life.
Okay.
A lot of people think, negative of that or whatever. But for me, it was completely different. Again, I truly know and believe that was the blessing in my life to turn my life back to where Christ wanted me to be. And because I had been out of sync with him, with Christ during that time that I was with him. So, transition out of that. And then I'm like, okay, what am I going to do?
Yes.
And it's like, Lord, I know, I'm getting older, and I'm like, okay, because catering is hard work. It's like, what else am I going to do? I got to do something else.
Because that's a lot of carrying things.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
It can
my
be a
husband
shame,
was
but
yeah, my husband had a band and he played percussion.
Mm-hmm.
We're not together, but he's still doing that. But now he hires a roadie to come
Okay.
and take the
Yeah.
stuff because that's
It's
a
work.
lot.
It is. It is
Yes.
work. But and my joy, because people think, oh, you
Yes.
love to cook, you do. And for me, it wasn't about the cooking. It was about the service
Oh.
that I was able to provide for people.
Okay.
It was just like, for me, that's what I did. That's what I knew I could do it, and no problem. So I wanted you, when you hired me, I wanted you to be able to focus on what it was that you were doing.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So you focus on that. I got this. So it was a service for me to be there to handle that portion of your event
Yes.
that you didn't have to worry about.
And that's how you were at the senior celebration.
Oh,
We got all this. We got all this going on. We got this together. Don't you even think
Yeah.
about the people behind the
Right.
curtain.
Yeah.
You guys
So,
just have fun.
just have fun. That's all you
was
have to do.
That was the ethos
Yes.
in the room. So,
So,
I see how
yes.
you got there.
So
oh,
that's what I
wonderful.
did. So if anything, I
Yes.
miss being able to do that for
Uh-huh.
people. It wasn't, the cooking was just a tool,
Okay.
you know, that was used so that I can be there to serve you, that allow you to do what you needed to do. So from that part, I kind of, but now, I mean, I get to do it still at Milestone. So anyway,
Yeah.
my youngest son graduated,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, okay, Lord, you know, I did. You allow me to be there for them the way I always wanted to. I always tell people, God, He will give you the, if you delight in Him, He will give you the desires of your heart. And, you know, He did that. And so I just started praying. I'm like, Lord, I don't know what else you have for me, but I know you have something else. And a girlfriend of mine, Miss Geraldine Babinoff, I love her dearly. She was working for Milestone at the time, and she was like, Cassandra, she was like, there's a position here. And she was like, God told me to tell you that was your position. You know, and I'm looking at her, I'm like, what? And I was like, doing what? You know, so Milestone has catering, as you know. You get to eat their food during Rotary meetings. And she said, they have a catering. They need a banquet supervisor. And I was like, really? I was like, I'm thinking I'm getting out of catering, you know. So I didn't do it. She sent me all the information. I looked at it, and you know, when you've kind of been out, I always say corporate America, if you will. Again, I had been out for almost 20 years at the time, you know, from 1996 to, you know. So I was like, oh, I don't know. You know, you doubt yourself.
Right.
So I didn't apply. And they ended up hiring an intern in that position. But it really wasn't what she wanted to do.
Oh, okay.
So she didn't stay long. So within 6 months, she was like, I'm out of here. And so my girlfriend came back to me and said, Cassandra, your job, and that's how she would say it to me. Your job is waiting on you.
Okay.
And I would just look at her like, what? Yeah. And so I said, you know what? I don't know what it was, but when I looked at the information again, it just looked completely different.
You were in a different space.
It looked completely different.
Yes,
and I was like, why did I think I couldn't do this?
Oh, my goodness.
And I went that day, turned in my resume, talked to the HR person, and the guy called me, and I got the job. And so I was there. That was in July of 2017. And I got there, and I was like, oh, my God, I was bored out of my mind.
No.
I was not used to being in the office. I was out. And when I wasn't doing my catering, I was really active at my church. You know, and so I was always there. Like I said, I love doing flowers.
Okay.
And so I would do all the flowers and everything at the church. And, you know, that was, that's kind of what got me through, if you will, like when I was going through my divorce.
Yes.
And that really helped me. And so I was like, okay, I don't do computers a lot. I mean, I got on the computer to do my invoice and email you my invoice.
Okay.
That was my extent with computers. That's all I wanted to do with computers. I know how to, I got my website.
Yes.
You know, I can send you the bill.
Yes.
And I can collect on it. I can go in here with my merchant account, run your card through it. That's what I did with computers. That's what that was for me. So to be able to, you know, to sit in the office area and, you know, then do everything on a computer, I was just like, oh my goodness, how am I going to get through this? And I just started praying.
Oh.
And I said, if this is where I am supposed to be, you know, please reveal that to me. And he did. I heard him clear as day. Cassandra, he was like, just hold on. This is not where you're going to stay. This was just to get you in the door.
Oh, my gosh.
And after that, I was like, okay. I was just as content as I could be. And so from July to November, every time a job posting came out, I would just look at it. I would print them out. I would take them to Mount Zion. They used to have a board, and I would always print them out so if anybody needed a job.
Yes.
And I can remember one November sitting there in my office, and this position came up, and I looked at it, and he was like, this is your job. And I'm just like,
oh, I got chills right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Because, you know, the Bible says it's the quiet voice.
Indeed.
That, you know what I mean? And if you are still enough
you can hear it.
and in tune with the word of God, you will hear him. And I heard him that day. And I'll never forget, I got up and I went to, it was our chief operations officer at the time. His name was Charlie Brown.
Yes, yes.
And I went to him because that person for that position would report to him.
Yes.
And I went and I talked to him and I told him what God said. And I was like, I'm applying for this job, so I'm just letting you know this is my job.
Yes.
And, I was a little emotional about it because,
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, this is like, okay, really happening. And so he was like, okay, Cassandra, apply for it. And so that's how it was an outreach position.
Yes.
4 other people in the organization at the time applied for the job as well. It took them almost a month before they made a decision.
Yeah.
But what they were doing is actually splitting the job up because they had fund development and like an outreach person all in one. And they were like, we really need to break this up.
Yes.
So when they did it, based off of how I responded to them in the interviews, they were like, we want you to take the fund development part of it. And I was thinking, okay, I don't know anything about fund development.
But I can learn.
Right, but I can learn.
I can learn.
And it was like, yeah, well, if you ran your business for 20 years, you can do fund development.
Yes.
And so that's how I became in fund development. So I think I was a fundraising specialist at the time when I started. And so I started doing that. And then right during COVID, yes, during COVID, I think like May of 2020, I was promoted to the fundraising manager. And then while I was doing that, we started Capital Campaign. And then so at the end of 2020, I think it was, then I was promoted to the Director of Fund Development.
Go, girl. That has been a journey.
God has worked it out.
Almost out of time.
Okay.
But there is one question I ask all of my guests. If you could look into a crystal ball and see yourself 20 years from now,
oh, wow.
What are you doing?
What am I doing?
What are you
You know
celebrating?
what I'm doing?
Let me say this. What are you celebrating? And
well-
how are you celebrating?
I am always celebrating the blessings that God has bestowed upon me.
Okay.
And what I would be doing is I would be helping other women overcome the divorce that they have gone through.
Oh, how beautiful is that?
Because so many women in this day and age get stuck there, going through a divorce that they've gone through. God has allowed me to go through it, overcome it, and just excel out of it in such a way that I know He allowed me to go through that experience so that I can now turn around and help other women through that experience. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm in the process of starting that work.
I got
right
chills
now.
again. That
Yeah.
is wonderful. Are you working with any women now?
No, that's my goal. I've got my class together and what I'm going to be doing. And so that's my next step now is to reach out to some women because they get stuck there and they think they can't. And I want to tell them, you can.
Yes,
and
indeed.
let God help you.
Ooh.
Because I am the example of Him doing that. And I always tell people, don't look back, honey. Be grateful, be thankful, and keep it moving. Because He will do greater things that's ahead of you than anything you could have ever had behind you.
All right.
So
All right.
that's what I'll be doing. I'll still be celebrating that.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love that answer. That was
Yes.
so
Thank you.
good. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank you for having
much.
me.
Oh,
I have
thank you
enjoyed
for
this.
doing this.
I have really enjoyed this.
I wanted
so.
to talk because we had a conversation about your family and all, and that was so.
Yeah.
Oh, my heart was so full when we talked
Yeah.
about that. You are the youngest of
I'm the youngest of
five.
five.
Of five.
Yep.
And I know you're just so proud of yourself, and I know your family is so proud of you.
Yep.
That is, and your children are proud of their mother. I know you're proud of
Hey.
them.
Yes, I am very proud of my I still say my 2 boys. I don't care
Your
if they
2
are
boys.
grown
Yes.
men now. But
Yes. Yes.
yes.
Awesome.
Yes, love it.
Well, thank you so
You are
much,
so
Cassandra,
welcome.
for sharing your story. And as I always say, I know you enjoyed hearing Cassandra's story. This woman has been doing it. I mean, has been doing it her entire life.
Yep.
She has been the author. She has been the writer. She has been the director, the choreographer,
Yes.
the everything for her life. And you can be the same way. Not doing it the same way Cassandra did it, but doing it the way you want to do
Yes.
it, to make your life productive, to make your life a story that you are celebrating and that you are proud to share with others.
Yes.
Get to know somebody's story, and by all means, tell your story. Until next time, we out. Thank you.